Well, in this video, you're going to get a little bit of everything. I went outside and modeled my teddy coat, even though the winds were not howling. You'll also see me in the kitchen cooking that Reuben bread pudding. We had it two nights ago. It was delicious. And I've given you a little tour of some of the things around as I walked around, a favorite table, my tiles that I painted, and you had sort of a mini tour of little bits and pieces of the house. I'm trying to clear the decks because my brother is coming. Both of my brothers are coming. And although they know my my maximalist tendencies, I do want it to look nice. So little by little, it's happening. Also saw Moosie outside doing some of his exercises that have strengthened him, and he's able to do a lot more to help me around the house. Well, good morning, my friends. It's a cold day in California, and according to the weather reports, it's very blistery. And you know what that means? I'm going to put on my teddy coat that I still have not worn. I did put my hair up in some jumbo new rollers. I'll have to show you another day, but I did buy some jumbo Velcro rollers in order to get more of a less curly hairdo, but still with some curl to it. There is a project I'm going to do today. Micah did take my tree down yesterday and has put it away back in the shed. And so today I'm going to very quickly, and you know what that means, a speed up. I'm going to dismantle all the Christmas decor from the Fireplace Mantle and clean it up a little bit. And perhaps if I have time today, I might go ahead and put up, I still haven't decided whether I want to do my blue and white china or some pewter. I think I'm going to go for the pewter because the blue and white china might be better when spring comes, because I have that really nice painting that Shannon did for me that's also blue and white. So I think I'll save my blue and white china for then. I am feeling so much better. I just told Moosie that when I got up this morning to go into the kitchen to get coffee, I forgot, believe it or not, that I had a meniscus tear in my knee. Things have been going so well for almost a week now, but I'm still being cautious. And I can't believe it. I said to Moose, I got in the kitchen and I was fixing the coffee and I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot. And I walked normally. I didn't pick up my rollator. I just walked normally into the kitchen as if nothing had ever happened. Well, that's good and bad, as you know. It's healing, obviously, because it has been going on for almost a week now, slowly. And I'm being still cautious because they say, you know, you could do one bad thing or you could do too much one day and that would be the end of it. It'd be starting all over again. So I am wearing my knee sleeves and I'm going to show them to you again. And I think I told you I bought two of them. I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to show you these knee sleeves again. So I'm very pleased with these and I'm going to continue to wear these for probably a couple of months on my knees. So I'm going to slip these on right now, and then we're going to go into the living room, and I'm going to dismantle the mantle. The tree was right here, and I am looking at, I think it's probably a 5 or 6 foot big picture window that goes pretty much from, I have plates up above a little bit on the ceiling, but it goes almost down to the floor. And I think I told you that this is where we put the Christmas tree, in which case we have to move my video table or dining table, whatever it is. It's a raised table with 2 chairs, and I move it toward the sofa that way. There's not a lot of room here in our little cottage. But so when I video over here, you get to see more of the fireplace and less of this end of the room, which isn't much anyway. But someone said something about the light not being good when I was doing my video, and it's all natural light. And I thought that was the best light. Maybe I'll try putting my ring light on again just to make sure. Change. I always thought it was so good before, natural light, but maybe it's not. You tell me what you think about the lighting. This is a little late to be doing all this, but everything is late this year. And I have to remind you that my two brothers and my younger brother's wife, Marlene, are coming out from New Jersey on the 23rd of January, and that's less than 2 weeks away. And I'm beginning to panic a little because for the past 2 months, I have been basically not doing anything, and things have piled up. I am getting help. Obviously, I did all along just to keep things on an even keel. But all those extra things that you want to do when you have company coming. Now, originally, we were going to have my brother Vinny, who's 2 years younger than I am. And Vinny wanted to stay here with us, which he did the last time he was out. It's been 8 years since he's been here. He loved our sofa that we had before. It was a big scrunchy sofa. It was wide. You could take the covers off in the back, and he loved sleeping on that. And he said, I just want to be with you the whole time. Ooh, I get a little funny when I think about that. Sorry. Oh, but I want to be with him the whole time too. Now, I have seen my brother Tommy, who is 13 years younger than I am. And I've seen him quite a bit. He comes out quite often with his wife, Marlene. I love the two of them, and I see them more often because their oldest son, Brian, lives out here right near us, fairly near us, much, much closer to our granddaughter, Bridget. And he's part of our family here. Of course, we've taken him in as one of ours. So they come out quite often to visit Brian and his wife, Kristen. Now, but I haven't seen Vinny in 8 years. And so they're all staying at Brian's house, which is probably maybe 25 minutes from here. And that's not too far for me because now that I know I can drive, I can do that and pick them up. But I told him, I said, oh, gee, we don't have that sofa anymore there. And being 8 years older than we were before, there's a lot of personal things that you do now that, but things have changed over the last 2 months because now Moosie and I have 2 rollators that we keep bumping into each other around the house. And we have 1 bathroom, which is through, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. That was a loud one. I always accuse Moosie of using his voice when he sneezes. Normally, I like to do it just using my nose like that, but it didn't come out that way. Sorry. But I don't think it's going to be possible for Vinny to stay here with me. So we wanted to see each other each day. And the last time we was out, we ate on the patio. We had breakfast. He loves rye toast like I love rye toast. And I fixed him a nice egg breakfast every morning. And I cooked some meals when we weren't visiting. We did a lot of traveling around. I have some ideas of things that we would like to do, even if it's just hanging out here. I got sidelined. What was I talking about? I better dig in on this because in a little while, Moosie is outside already. The winds have not kicked up yet, but I have my coat waiting for me in there, that beautiful full-length teddy coat that I bought to go to Tessie's wedding. And then, wouldn't you know, a week later, the wedding was, and a week before the wedding, I had my meniscus tear in the knee, and I was bedridden at that point. So we never got to the wedding. Now, I'm not putting away my brass candlesticks, the vintage ones, because I use those around the house in different places anyway. Those stay up all year long somewhere. I told you that would be fast. I can work pretty fast when I want to, can I? Now I have to get all of this into tubs and maybe do a little vacuuming or something. Today, in my kitchen here, I am attempting to make a Reuben bread pudding. Now, it looks like an awful lot of ingredients, a little more ambitious than I was about ready to tackle today, but that's okay. Now, let me explain what this is. If you've ever had a Reuben sandwich, you know how good it is. A Reuben sandwich is usually made with either pastrami, which is the way Moosie loves it, or shredded corned beef. And it involves some Swiss cheese, some sauerkraut, all sorts of other things, maybe something else in there. And one of the biggest things, which is one of the markers of a Reuben sandwich, is Thousand Island dressing. Now, I don't happen to have Thousand Island dressing. I have French dressing, but that's not the same. So I looked up a recipe on how to make it, and it's quite easy, and I'm going to make my own. But that's what you identify with the taste of a Reuben sandwich. Well, to make a Reuben bread pudding, which is done in a casserole dish, which I have right here, you assemble 2 cups of shredded cheese, which I've already done, and I did it New Year's Eve, and it was quite a job. So I have 2 cups of shredded Swiss cheese here ready to go in. I have my shredded corned beef. Now, some of it I saved from a soup that Margie sent down, and some of the rest of it comes from a can. Now, Moosie says, oh, what's that going to taste like? I said, well, I couldn't get out to get to the deli to get some corned beef, so this will have to do. He says, what does it look like and smell like? I said, don't worry about that. Now, as you know, you're supposed to use rye bread or something similar to that. Now, what I did, because I had read a couple of reviews about this, that they felt sometimes the bread would get soggy. So I have 2 or 3 cups of some leftover bread, which I had saved in the freezer from New Year's Eve. It's French bread, but I cheated, and I poured a whole bunch of caraway seeds on it. And what I did was I did it in the frying pan with some butter, and I crispied it up so you can see what it looks like. Now, it's not going to get soggy because it's almost toasted. Now, they suggest that you might want to toast some rye bread before you do this, but I didn't have it in solid form. Mine was already cut up. But when I put the caraway seeds in, it did smell just like rye bread. So I did some cheating here. Now I have onions to go in, and I have a can of sauerkraut, which has been squeezed by hand. So I've gotten all the water out. That's pretty much the ingredients. After you get all that into this pan, you put some butter on the bottom. Then you take 3 eggs and you mix it with, I think, 2 cups of milk and a little bit of prepared mustard. Now, prepared mustard is mustard in the jar. It's not the powdered mustard. And I think it's 2 tablespoons or something like that. And I have onions ready to go in also with the mixture. And then what you do, you bake it in the oven at 350 for, I think, 40 minutes, something like that, or until it looks all assembled. And when you dig into this casserole, it's supposed to taste just like a Reuben sandwich. Why I ever got this idea, I have no idea. But that's what we're doing today, because I can't wait any longer to do it. And Moosie is ready for this tonight. I put in a cup of milk, 3 eggs, some pepper, and 1.5 cups of mustard in here. I'm whisking it up. And the only other thing that goes in here with this mixture is the Thousand Island dressing. Well, since I don't have it, it would have been easy if I could just pour it in here. But now I have to assemble that. Now I just throw in the breadcrumbs. My pan is all greased, as you can see. Throw in the breadcrumbs. By the way, I have put pepper in there as well, and the mustard. Everything's in there ready to go. I think the onions will go here. So now I'm assembling. Look at all the caraway seeds here. So I'm just going to put all those caraway seeds in there too, and I might even sprinkle some. So I'm going to put a few cubes of butter there. I'm using paper plate because at this point I'm not pushing any washing of dishes. I have my Swiss cheese ready to go, and I'm going to put that, corned beef, and that calls for maybe 2, 3, 4 cups, whatever you want to put in. Here I have the shredded beef left over from a soup, which I rescued, and then I have some canned corned beef. Now that's cheating. It doesn't look good, but it will taste good. That's what I'm always telling Moose. Don't tell me what it looks like. Just enjoy it. It even smells like corned beef. Moosie's suspicious of everything that comes in a can, so I think we're ready. Now we have a pretty full looking dish here. I'm not going to put all this in. Have to put the sauerkraut in. And as I say, I've squeezed it all. Ooh, this is going to be good. Yummy. Probably would have been easier to just pick up the Reuben sandwiches at the deli, but what the heck. It's creative and it's different. And it's homemade. Okay. Wow, that's ready to go. So we're set. I'm going to have to pour the onions in too. Now half of these are sauteed and half are not. So I hope the rest of them will cook. Now this looks pretty yummy, let me tell you. Let me show you what this looks like already. I'm going to put a few cubes of butter in here with it. Now look at that. Does that not look good? Ooh. Now all I have to do is put the sauce on here as soon as I make my homemade Thousand Island dressing. Well, I have made the Thousand Island dressing. I'm going to push my little table forward and show you. Doesn't that look yummy? Now I have much too much because the recipe only calls for 1/3 to 1/2 cup mixed in with the egg and milk mixture, and I will have lots left over. So we have to figure out that we'll have some nice Waldorf salads or something with this because it looks yummy. Now in here I put 1 cup of mayonnaise. I think it was 1/4 cup of ketchup, some sweet relish, 2 tablespoons of sweet relish or maybe pickles that you could chopped up pickles, some little bit of salt. What else did I put in? A little bit of salt, maybe a teaspoon or 2 of lemon juice, and 1/2 teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon of paprika. I put a little more in. So that's it. Oh, and a little pepper. Pepper also goes in this. Now, I'm ready to add this to our mixture. Then I pour it all over here. And I put it in the oven at 350 degrees, and I think it's 40 minutes. I will check on that. So, by the way, I did sprinkle more caraway seeds on the top of this. This looks yummy. It's big. I might have to send some up to Micah or send some over to Margie. That'll be a switch. Ooh, that tastes so much like Thousand Island. How easy is that to make your own Thousand Island dressing? Just great. A little bit of salt. And I think we're done. So let's go ahead. Okay, this is ready. I'm going to eyeball this. Actually, I put more in there than the recipe called for. But I think it's going to definitely add to the taste. I want to be able to taste that Thousand Island dressing. I'm even going to put some more in. Now, somebody said, no, I think I'm going to save this. Somebody said in one of the reviews of this recipe that they made it the second day because they had something left over. And before they put it back in the oven, they sprinkled Thousand Island dressing on the top, and it was even better. So I'm going to save that. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. So here we go. I hope there's enough of this to go around. This is a big casserole. This is about a, I don't know, 9 by 12 or maybe 13. I hope it's enough liquid. Ooh. You know, I love making these things for the first time. It sort of goes along with my wild spirit of being creative. It seems to be enough. Gosh, this should taste great. Looks good. I hope it won't spill over. Can you see? I smell caraway seeds. That's all I smell. Now, I don't think you cover it. I'll check, but I'm going to put it in the oven now. Yes, it basically says to bake uncovered for 30 minutes and check. It should brown on top, and make sure that it's warm, uncovered at 350 degrees. So I'm going to do that now. It's in the oven. I'll put my timer on, and I'll catch you later. That recipe also called for some chopped onions in there for the salad dressing. But since I already put a bunch of onions into the pot, or along with the bread and the cheese and everything, I decided not to put more in. I didn't want to chop up a new onion anyway. So that's it. I'm dying to try this, aren't you? Wow, does that look good? It smells delicious. And when I get down, I can see all the cheese melted. It's browned. Shoot, it's bubbling. It's bubbling too. I hope that it tastes as good. I'm going to dish it up in these nice little pasta bowls that Moosie gave me for Christmas, along with some really unusual pasta. I hear Moosie coming. Moosie has just come into the kitchen to pick up his supper. He's really getting around.
It smells good in here, but it always does.
I
Now,
know.
I'm an expert on pastrami sandwiches.
I know. Also corned beef, right? I mean, it's synonymous.
No, it isn't. It's far from it.
Really?
Oh, I'll have to explain it to you someday.
Okay. You're so smart. At Christmas, many of you had asked whatever happened to Patrick. And I'm going to tell you right now a little bit about what happened to Patrick. I think he's getting a little old. Now, Patrick is our green elf on the shelf that's been with our family for many years. And normally every day he would pop around somewhere different and we would find him, especially when all the kids would come down every morning before school. They were very excited to see him. This year, I think he was showing his age because he hung around in one place too long, finally landed on the Christmas tree, and I think that's where he stayed. But I told him when he was hanging right up there, he has now gone back to the North Pole, I think. But he said he was going to send me someone that could take his place for a few weeks, maybe around St. Patrick's Day. And look what I found sitting here yesterday. Yes. Looks like an Irish elf on the shelf for some reason or other. So I think he might stay there. Maybe he'll pop around. Who knows? So that's the scoop for Patrick, our elf on the shelf, our aging elf on the shelf, I should say. Also down here on the wall is a beautiful old sampler. I had a collection and still have most of it. I've given several of them to different kids, but the kids remember the sayings. I used to hang different ones in their rooms at different times of their lives. I did this painting of avocados for an avocado show up in La Habra Heights at one point. You know, avocados, the original avocados, the Haas avocado, I believe, is from this area right here. Debbie gave us this one Christmas with a beautiful poem that Moosie wrote, and she had it put on a big canvas. I'm always very proud of this. This was a copy of a Monet, I think, that I did. I have shown you my collection of miniature plates. Now, some of these, like these on the wall going up here, people have given me from their travels, or we've picked them up on travels, and we've been to Amsterdam, and Mikey and Sabrina were in Norway and Denmark earlier and brought us some back from there. But most of these are ones from our own travels. Every once in a while, I take one down, give it to somebody, thus the empty place up there. I have something else I can put in there. And I just love them. When there's a cottage, Robbie Burns' cottage from Scotland, a lot of old plates from where we've traveled in Europe or lived over there. And this is the big window that I'm telling you, I sit right in front of this big giant window, and then there's one, this is a corner, and this is where I sit at this table. And I thought that the natural light would be great. Normally, I think it is. There's all my stuff to go away. Such a bright day that I'm taking advantage of showing you some of the things here in the living room. I think I mentioned in the fondue New Year's Eve video that I painted all these ceramic tiles. I copied a lot of the old Dutch tiles from Holland, and I do have a collection of old ones, but I did take a couple of lessons, I don't know how long ago, 10, 20 years, no, 10 or 12 years ago, and I spent days and days and months painting these, and I loved them. And then I had them fired in a big kiln from the place where I took my lessons, and then I cemented them on the fireplace, some on the interior and around the edges. This is a cabinet that I found at an auction in Scotland, and it's a dry sink with a marble top. It has 2 doors here. It's a cabinet, and it's on legs. And it came with pink tiles in the back that were kind of ugly. And for years I had it. I've had this now about probably 40, 50 years. And during my ceramics phase, I decided to smash the pink tiles and make my own tiles for this cabinet because I've always loved the piece. It was a lighter pine, and I also refinished it to a darker color. So these tiles are probably 5-inch, 6-inch by 6-inch tiles. And they're pretty much basically the same ones, copying old ones, but I painted every one of these and then installed them myself. It was very easy to do because they happen to be the same size as the other ones. So another cabinet that I have in here, since I'm not doing much painting anymore, but this particular cabinet holds all of my painting supplies. I did many canvas paintings. I had lessons many years ago, and I used a lot of my blue and white china to hold my brushes and my paints. Down below is a cabinet where a lot of my paints are, down there. And I suppose I should take a lot of that out and use it for something else because I haven't been painting in such a long time.
Are you cold?
No, but it's about time I showed the coat. Now, I don't have my beautiful boots on. I'm still in slippers, right? But don't you love the coat? And I might as well show you the full look here. If I were going up to the mountains, this is what I'd look like.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Is this cozy? It's got big pockets. I'm a little unsteady on my feet, but good, huh? Ooh, I can't wait to wear it with the wind bustling. Maybe you'll have to take me back to Jersey.
Sure.
Will you take me back?
Anytime.
Good. And I'll wear this coat.
You can go back with Vinny and Tommy.
I will. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yep.
So here we sit in the nice weather. Not as cold as I thought.
This is important exercises that I do every day, and I'm into bondage a little bit.
I see.
Yes, I'm into bondage. Have you ever tried it?
No.
You put your knees together.
Yeah.
Eh,
You make a bow.
And then you tie the bow like this. Now you're tied up in a bondage.
Oh, good. Now what are you going to do now? Show us.
I don't know.
Come on.
Could I have bread and water?
This is called resistance, right? This is what the PT guy showed you?
Yep.
Good. Wow.
Hold it. That's boring. You can stop it now.
Tell me what this is strengthening first.
It's all in my hip.
Oh, you feel it in your hips
Well,
and
there's some in the thigh, but mostly it's in the hip.
good. So I hope the light is okay. And I did tell you that I used my Dollar Tree lipstick and lip pencil today and something else. I think my No, I did use my lighter eyebrow pencil. Yes, my eyebrows were dark. And yes, one of the eyes was only half done on the bottom. I'll get it right sooner or later. So thank you all so much for watching once again. We did pick up some new viewers, and welcome to our channel. I'll see you soon again. Love you, and God bless us all.